Welcome to Philippine Hobby Community, the show that is designed to bring the global limelight into the local hobby community here in my home country, the Philippines. In today's episode, we're featuring a Facebook painting community based here in Manila that I also represent, Philippine Talos. And as it is my last video of the year, I want to end with a little bit more positivity, as I do know there is a lot of negativity that surrounds the topic or the idea of online painting communities in most hobbies. So to do that, I asked the admins of Philippine Talos to tell you guys why it's good for you to join a painting community online, especially in the coming year 2021. First up, we have a good friend, Josh, otherwise known as Juice, who is actually one of my first and earliest miniature painting teachers. He's a very talented painter and dungeon master, and he's also a talented voice actor on the side, so very creative guy. The only thing I don't like about him is that he loves Naruto, so I hate his guts.
Being part of a community helps you not work in a vacuum. While miniature painting and modeling certainly helps us, achieve that sense of me time that I know a lot of people need, especially with, how life is now, business, work, all that. It's important to be able to reach out to other people with this hobby. And when I mean reach out, I don't mean, in a charitable sense, not necessarily. As artists and as people, we don't have all the tips and tricks and abilities and skills coded into our brains right from the get-go. How a community can help is when you see a paint job that you really like and you're like, ang ganda naman ng paint job, ang ganda ng wet blending, ang ganda ng edge highlighting, how do I achieve that? That's where the community comes in. Unlike Googling, for example, a forum that closed like 4 years ago just to find out this one technique, when you find it in a certain group or a community, you can talk to the artist directly. Oh, I want to know how you did this, and he can respond like right then and there. You could also show off what you're able to do, and other people can ask you questions as well. The back and forth, the two-way communication of ideas and concepts and whatnot, which I think is only possible in a specific community situation. Next up, you have Milo. In the group, he is the self-proclaimed speed painter. He is also a dungeon master and is an entrepreneur.
To me, the answer is simple. It's to be inspired or to inspire. Let's say you're having a bad day. Long day at work, crazy traffic, lots of problems, and you just want to see good stuff, visually appealing by just browsing through the photos that are being shared, the conversations, the memes. These are light-hearted. And seeing the positivity and support of each member, it's something that can inspire you. Maybe it'll inspire you to do better, to try something new, a different technique, a different model, a different approach, a different material. And if you're a hobbyist, especially an experienced one, you've been doing it for years, I think it's your role to inspire. Inspiring newcomers to become better. You can also inspire people who are thinking of entering into the hobby and say, you know what, whatever you're scared of, don't worry. I was there years ago, and look at where I am right now. So just give it a try.
Then you have Mr. Wilson Alinea, who you are already familiar with. If you've seen the first episode of this series, you can check out the link in one of these corners. Wilson is one of our newly minted admins, as he represents the gunpla community, both the building and painting side. And just recently, a few months ago, he got more involved into 3D printing miniatures, and he's really good at it. So like, if you want to take a look, he does have an online store which you can check out in the description below.
There is a lot to learn sa mga community or groups. Lalo na yung mga matatagal ng groups. Marami kang pwedeng pagtanungan, marami kang pwedeng mapulot na mga news, mga bagong skill set. Pero medyo tricky yan. I've been to many groups before. Iba-iba kasi yung style din ng mga groups. So before joining a group, make sure na you read yung guidelines nila, read yung rules, and check kung pasok ba siya sa standard ng community na hinahanap mo. It's like merong mga groups na for beginners talaga alone. Meron namang groups for criticisms, for improvement. So you should be aware.
And last but not the least is you have Miss Mars Zarate, who not only has a lot of experience in community building, but has taken a lot of time into miniature painting and streaming content, both audio and video, about our hobby.
Groups and communities help the hobby in and of itself, because when you encourage people to paint, you also encourage people to get into the hobby, which it's kind of like a positive cycle on itself.
So as you can see, our Facebook group is composed of a lot of different people in the hobby, and not just talking about miniature painting, but painting figures in general. We're a very diverse group, and that's part of the pride that I take in as being an admin. My answer as to why you should join a painting group online is quite similar to that of Mars and Milo's. There's so much clutter and there's so much negativity, not just in daily life, but even when we go online on our phones. And joining a hobby community that you know get along very well in, taking to the notes of what Wilson was saying, sort of puts an automatic filter onto your feed. Because when I need some positivity, when I need some encouragement, or when I just need to relax, I log on to my Facebook groups. Mostly, I spend most of my online time just looking at the posts on Philippine Tados. And it's nice to see people inspire one another. We've created this group for a little more than a year, and already we've garnered around 1,500 subscribers. A big chunk of that's very active. And you have a mix from fantasy to sci-fi to mecha to scale to historical builders and painters, all just teaching one another. And we even have a good number of people who are into 3D printing. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on. Every month we have 2 contests that are themed, and we actually give out actual prizes to winners and members. I guess I have to say this right now, we are not an exclusive group. This group is open to anyone watching this video, anyone around the world, because it is our goal to highlight the talent of Filipinos and share it across the world through the internet. We also have occasional paint jams online, Zoom sessions, and we used to have painting workshops, which we hope to get back soon. And we also have like a semi-online store for selling paints if you are in the area too. But mostly it is just a sanctuary for people who love to paint. You would be surprised to find out the different profiles of people who are on that group, and we pride ourselves as admins to create a rule set that's easy to follow and enforce that very politely in a way that really makes this community a thriving, fun place to be in. I don't like tooting my own horn, but I invite you to see it yourself. Go in the group, spend a couple of months there, and see how just positive people are. And it's not just the fake kind of positive, but people are just very polite and supportive. You will get criticisms if you ask for it, but I guess the major aspect here is there's nothing divisive in that group, despite how varied the people are in terms of age and points of views in life in general. And if you do join, stay in tune, because in a couple of months or weeks maybe, we'll be launching something very, very special for the rest of the world, and I hope you guys are part of the journey. If you do join, you are considered a certified Tado. And for the non-Tagalog speakers out there, Pilipintados is a wordplay on the word Filipino and pintado, which means painted, and when you combine it, you get Pilipintado, and the short form of that is Tado, which is also short form for a slang tarantado, you know, which is I actually don't know the English equivalent of tarantado, but I'll put it here and you'll get the picture. So it's a nice little fun wordplay. If you're not already, join a Facebook group, join an online painting group. It's a good way to automatically shut out everything and filter everything into just your beautiful world of your hobby. This has been Louie of Louie Loves Minis, signing off for the year 2021. And as always, reminding you to hobby every day to keep the sprues away.